All right, hey, this is the Doc, and I'm sitting here with my good friend Steven Ysidron, and Steven is on his way for yet another road trip with Savinelli Cigars, and Steven and I have been hanging out here. We fired up our first cigar and just taking a short break, and I thought I'd use this time to get a little bit of information from Steven about himself and about his cigars. And first of all, Steven, thanks for taking the time to stop by Doc's Herf Shack here so we could smoke a cigar and catch up on things.
Always a pleasure, always a pleasure.
Now, first of all, I'd like you to tell the people a little bit about yourself and about, your history in the industry, because I'm not sure that a lot of people have heard that story from you, and I think it's an interesting one, and I'd like you to share it with some of the people.
Well, my father had been running Savinelli pipes for over 30 years, by the time I got involved with the business, which was in the late 80s. And I was helping him out with sales and so forth in-house and learning about the business, basically, as a young man, trying to learn what I could. Savinelli, as you know, makes pipes and cigars. So my first endeavor in the business was learning about pipes, and I lived in Italy and worked in the factory making pipes.
And so when did the cigars come in?
In the late 80s, my dad and I had talked. I am of Cuban descent. Both my mother and my father are Cuban. And both my grandfather on my dad's side and my grandfather on my mother's side were involved with cigars. Okay. So my dad was born in Ybor City, a great cigar town, and was surrounded by that all of his life. So it was part of my history. In the 80s, I said to my father, him and I were talking about doing cigars, and we were both thought, it would be a good mix for us to get into making cigars since we had the family background. And we had the connection, with the Fuente family that, kind of raised in the same area as my dad was raised, and so we went to them first to make our first cigar, which was, really a coup for us to be able to have them do, a cigar for us.
What cigar was that the Fuentes made for you?
It's called the ELR, the Extremely Limited Reserve. It's still made there. I believe it's made in the Opus X factory. I was just a kid in the 80s, and I got to go to the factory in the Dominican Republic, and Carlos Sr. and Carlito, showed me around. I mean, they showed me their fermentation process. They showed me the farms. I mean, as a kid, just coming up in this business, it was just an amazing to see the care that they put into making a product, and basically showed me what type of quality that you needed to have in order to make a product that was, that was worth smoking. So that's where I got my first education in cigars, was really from them. And we've kind of always maintained that aspect, from the pipes being high quality to the cigars being high quality. And till today, we search out the highest quality tobacco and the best manufacturers in the world to make products for us.
That's awesome. That's and we're smoking a cigar right now, and this is one of my favorite of the Savinelli cigars, and I have featured this on a podcast, and it's the R&R. And why don't you tell people? I mean, they've heard me talk about it, but why don't you tell people a little bit about this particular cigar?
Well, R&R started out as a project. Really, my father, Ruben Ysidron, started the project. Was working on it. We wanted to do something that really had a bit of a stamp of our family taste on it, because we know what we like as a family, and my father and I have the same similar taste buds, and so we have this signature that we have always liked the same type of cigars over the years. So when we did this cigar, we wanted it to be to our signature taste, and so we sampled, we bought tobaccos, we tried different things, and we had tried a lot of different, even manufacturing plants, until we could get the right thing, the right cigar, and the R&R just happened to hit it just right. And so
on the table right next to you, you got a couple other of your cigars. Why don't you tell the folks about those?
Well, the first one that I have here in my hand, this is our Savinelli Special Selection 2005. This is made for us by the Oliva in Nicaragua. It is a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, and it is Nicaraguan binder and Nicaraguan filler. Okay. This cigar has been given some high rates, rated highly over the past year, and it is we are always trying to make things better. So the 2005 will be here for the next year, and then next year it'll be gone, and then we'll go on to our 2006 special selection that we'll be coming out with.
Very
The
cool.
next one is our Liga Especial. The Liga Especial is also Ecuadorian Habano wrapper now. It's a little bit different, as you can see the fermentation between this and this.
Yes,
is
definitely
a little bit
difference in the color.
So the flavor is going to be a little bit different. The Liga Especial is a real peppery, almost traditional Nicaraguan style cigar, more so than the R&R and the special selection.
But the wrapper is Ecuadorian,
Ecuador.
and the filler binder are Nicaraguan. So yeah. So tell us a little bit about your role in the company right now. You told us a little bit about your history. What are you doing now?
I am involved. I'm called the National Sales Manager. I have a sales force throughout the country that goes out and visits retailers and promotes the product and so forth. And then I am traveling coast to coast. I am trying to hit every single retail shop that I can, meet as many people as I can to tell them about our product. Pipes were well known. We have been known for many, many years, but cigars were not as well known. And as you had quoted before, it's the best cigar you've never heard of. Our cigars are kind of like that. But my job is to just go out there and put them in the mouths of people so they can try it. Because once you try the cigar, you're going to be impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what your style is, but we basically have everything to fit your needs.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, we're definitely changing all of our marketing, all of our advertising, all of our packaging is changing this year. We've started with a different advertising campaign. All of our bands are going to be changing. Everything's going to have a little bit more of a flair to it. But when people are in there, sometimes it just helps to have that extra marketing, that extra flair to it that will have somebody say, "Hey, this is a beautiful cigar," and pick it up and try to smoke it, and then hopefully they'll fall in love with it.
Absolutely. Now, tell people about upcoming products. What kind of projects are you working on? New cigars.
Well, the first project that's very close to my heart is our anniversary cigar. We have been working on that for about 6 months now. And what we've done is that we've tried to search out to find the correct vintage tobaccos that would go into that cigar. It's going to be a limited production, and I've been involved with it since the beginning. And it's been a lot of fun. I mean, just being able to sample all these different tobaccos and different blends and go through that whole process has been just so much fun for me. And
I envy you in that.
And we finally, we got to a point where we're getting almost to the end of this process, and when you're sampling something that's your baby and you put your blood into it, and it's exciting. And the anniversary is that it signifies 15 years of production of our cigars.
Too. Any other new project you're working on?
Well, I am working on a small project. I can't talk too much about it, but I have a manufacturer that's working on a cigar for me down in the Dominican Republic. It's a Brazilian wrapper. It also is using some Nicaraguan and Dominican tobaccos. So I'm just putting it together just at the initial stages of it right now, working with the blends and the tobaccos that we're putting together. So not too much information to give about that. I know what I've tried so far and what I've tasted is different than anything that Savinelli's ever made. So that'll be exciting.
So that's on the horizon. That's pretty dang exciting. So you're busy. And as we speak, you're on your way down to LA, and you've got a steep itinerary ahead of you, visiting different retail stores and such. So, man, I just really appreciate you coming by and saying hi and sitting, smoking, talking with me for a while, because I know you're a busy guy now.
Well, it's always fun to come down and hang out, and we've had a couple of great events down here, and it's always been enjoyable to be with you.
All right, you take care, man.
All right, thanks a lot.